The tough part, they can't even see us talking, so
Yeah.
I don't really know if it's happening.
Now
Oh,
he's double
okay, now
thumbs
we could, okay. So we had a motion, okay, and a second to approve the agenda. Director Keaton?
Approved. Yes. Aye.
Ooh, just give us a thumbs up. Okay, so motion passes 4-0. We have
Can you not hear me?
superintendent's report, Dr. Paul?
Yeah, thank you. I just have a couple of things, President Yang and board members. We're just really excited to have completed, as we've come into school, partial week and now finally full weeks of school. And I just wanted to express how proud we are of our staff and students in all our programs and everyone who continues to be adapting to all the different practices that we have to have in place to operate in person and in our virtual environments. And specifically this evening, I would like to call out our health and safety personnel. I don't know if any of those are online with us this evening or not, but they really gone above and beyond, put in a lot of extra time to ensure that we've been doing contact tracing, all the things that we need to take care of, answering a lot of questions and supporting our schools and departments, and the leadership of Michelle Oliver on that. I really like to recognize her and her team. Also, just as we normally receive our enrollment reports at the first of every school year, we do typically make some adjustments, which we're analyzing currently. One area that I wanted to make sure the board was aware is our Puyallup digital learning enrollment is a bit higher than we initially projected. So we did predict growth in the alternative programs, but I think all of us understand the Delta variant wasn't here last spring when we actually had generated interest in the programming. And so after our August 30th town hall, we did experience a bit of a rush for folks that wanted to be in the program. So that's taken a little time to actually put together learning plans and all the processes that need to take place in order to fully enroll and then begin to provide services for those kids. And so we appreciate the patience of everyone, and also would let the board know we should have the enrollment update for you at the next regular board meeting. And I did also want to comment, lots of creative work by our principals and staff at all the different sites. We've committed to trying to increase or maximize the physical distancing when we're at lunch and in some of the common spaces. And every school is a little bit different. So the principals have had to do a lot of adaptive thinking as they've sorted through these different challenges. But when students are not actively eating, they do wear their masks. And when they are eating, we've encouraged maximum spacing, use of outdoor spaces, which we've been really fortunate with the weather on most of the days, and use of other indoor spaces you wouldn't normally eat at. So we've really focused on trying to follow the health and safety guidance that we've been receiving. Also, just a note for the board and the public, there will be the study session planned for this Friday will be postponed, time to be determined if we are able to reschedule that. And yeah, that's really what I had this evening for you at this time.
Great, thank you, Dr. Palm. All right, next we have Executive Director of Communications, Sarah Gillespie, with district highlights.
Good evening, President Yang and members of the school board. Thank you for allowing us the opportunity to showcase Puyallup School District students, staff, programs, and events. I'm going to advance these slides real quick. Let's see here. Bear with me for 1 second. I think he's coming to the front. So tonight we kick off our highlights this evening, honoring 4 students who've shown exceptional academic ability and the potential for success in rigorous college studies. If here with us tonight, I'd like to invite the following students up to the front. Our National Merit semifinalists. Come on up.
Don't be shy.
Don't be shy. I'll have 2 of you stand here and 2 of you stand over here if you'd like. Thank you. We're going to wait here for the slides to catch up. Just a second. Are we good? Oh, perfect. Okay, thank you. Congratulations to Puyallup's 2022 National Merit Scholarship semifinalists, Daria Baker, Miles Mercer, Tyson Perez, and Marin Thompson of Puyallup High School. The National Merit Scholarship Corporation just recently announced the names of approximately 16,000 students from across the country. And these 4 students will go on to compete for some 7,500 scholarships that will be awarded in the spring. Over 95% of the semifinalists are expected to attain finalist standing, and more than half of the finalists will win a National Merit Scholarship, earning the Merit Scholar title. Semifinalists must have an outstanding academic record throughout high school, be endorsed and recommended by a high school official, write an essay, and earn either an SAT or ACT score that confirms their earlier performance on the qualifying test. To make it to the finalist stage, students will need to submit details about their academic record, participation in school and community activities, leadership abilities, and more. Before we pause for a celebratory photo, please join with me in congratulating Daria, Miles, Tyson, and Marin. Now, if the board members wouldn't mind coming over here, I'm going to take a quick photo real quick. And kind of difficult facing wise, but I think we can pull it off. Smile with your eyes. Ribbon cutting ceremonies are our way of acknowledging and thanking many teams that come together to work on capital projects throughout the district. Tonight, we officially recognize the opening of these buildings with our community post-event, as our in-person celebrations are limited due to health and safety precautions. September 10th, we celebrated the completion and full opening of 2 construction projects, the Karshner Elementary Restoration Project and the Ballou Junior High School Expansion Renovation Project. Many teams come together, including capital projects, construction teams, architects, engineering teams, and more, to ensure that these projects are done on time and on budget. We encourage you to join in these celebrations and watch the full ceremonies on the district's YouTube channel. The district extends its sincere gratitude to everyone involved on these projects, but most importantly, to staff, students, and families for patience, resilience, and cooperation throughout the project. Although Puyallup's Education Day at the fair looked a little different this year, students and staff were able to showcase programs and operations on September 15th. Millie, the district's CTE Mobile Innovation Lab, greeted fairgoers at the front entrance, and hands-on CTE activities, museum exhibits, and virtual student performances were available inside the expo hall. Staff and high school students answered questions and helped students on everything from art projects to science and technology. In addition, fairgoers had an opportunity to visit booths and learn about job openings, communities and schools, Right at School, and the Children's Emergency Fund. Despite some minor hurdles transporting Millie, her engine is currently under repair, this 2-minute video gives you a small glimpse into Fair Day.
We have 2 wonderful people so much. What do you think of Millie? She's amazing.
It's a great asset to the community.
Amazing. Very educational.
Awesome.
I'm impressed with Millie. I think when you got a mobile educational tool like this going to all the schools, I think the kids are so excited to see it come. I bet they just love it.
Thank you to all the staff and students that helped us this year. And lastly, we highlight our You Belong initiative. This year, reimagining our tradition of excellence is not just about academics, but social and emotional wellness for students. A student's ability to learn begins with a sense of belonging, which in turn has a direct impact on academic achievement. A safe environment to ask questions and share experiences elevates learning, understanding, and cultivates relationships. Because of this, our teaching and learning environments need to be safe, inclusive places where everyone feels welcomed so learning can excel. As we strive to provide each student with supportive relationships to combat the negative effects of stress and adversity this year, we want everyone to know and feel that they belong. To promote this work, our You Belong video is part of a two-part series in which we'll ask stakeholders if they, in fact, really do feel as if they belong. That video will launch with our Panorama Education Surveys next month as part of our Pathway to Recovery analysis. In closing, enjoy this first video in the series, communicating this academic mindset.
It's tough time to be 5, 7, 9, 12,
17,
16, a parent. We need our schools to help us
develop our skills
for handling life's challenges,
as well as prepare us
for academic success.
I want my school to help me learn from my mistakes.
I want my school
to help me learn to manage stress,
to help me resolve conflicts,
disagree respectfully,
to understand perspectives
different from mine,
to find a sense of belonging.
I want to see my child live healthy and make good choices.
I want to see my children happy.
We all want the best for your children.
Success should not be defined by grades alone.
but also by the ability to think for ourselves, work together, and contribute to our communities.
Because we see the potential and we see the promise.
It's our priority to teach students social, emotional, and cognitive skills
Required to be happy, strong, and ready to take on the world.
We will strive to provide each student with supportive relationships.
To combat the negative effects of stress and adversity.
Because at the end of the day, we want everyone to know and feel that they belong.
You belong here.
You belong here.
You belong here.
You belong here.
We 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 belong here.
I belong.
I belong here.
I belong here.
I belong.
I belong.
I belong.
I belong here.
And that concludes our highlights for this evening.
Thank you, Sarah. I just want to thank everyone for complying with the mask mandate. I know that it's not always pleasant, but thank you for helping us stay within our requirements. And just a reminder that this is, you can always join us virtually. Let's let's see, we are at consent agenda.
I move that we approve the consent agenda.
A second.
A motion has been made and seconded to approve the consent agenda. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 4-0. Thank you. We are now at the second reading of policies. Dr. Pecchia is joining us remotely.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Board President Yang, members of the board. This is a second reading of policies. We have policy 3115, students experiencing homelessness, enrollment rights and services. The title for this policy was updated from homeless students, enrollment rights and services. And there were also some legal references that were updated in the policy as well, along with language throughout to align with WASDA's model policy. The second is policy 5650, that's employee dress and freedom of expression. And this policy was expanded to include employee freedom of expression beyond employee dress, and the title was updated from employee dress. Also added that employee attire must be viewpoint neutral regarding partisan politics, clarification as to when reasonable restrictions to employee speech would be imposed by the district, and guidance regarding displaying personal items in individual workspaces, and then also workspace is defined in the policy now. So this is a second read of these policies, and at this time I would ask the Board of Directors to consider taking action on the approval of these two policies.
Thank you, Dr. Pecchia. Any questions or comments? If not, I'll take a motion.
I mean,
I move for approval of policy 3115 and policy 5650 as presented.
Can we discuss them separately?
Yes.
Okay. Can I suggest an amendment that we should, I move to approve policy 3115.
We have a motion on the floor with Michael right now.
Yeah, we have a motion on the floor.
Michael revoke his motion.
But you want to,
A friendly amendment?
if we,
No?
Procedurally,
yeah,
you've got either a second, and if there's no second, then that motion can die, and then there can be a second motion.
okay.
So Michael can either revoke his motion, so I want to make a motion,
Okay,
or we can get a second and then open for discussion before we vote.
right.
So I second the motion that Michael made regarding policy 3115 and policy 5650. Then we can continue
Okay.
the discussion.
All right. So motion has been made and seconded, but there is a request for discussion. Go ahead, Tor.
So, I mean, I think that policy 3115 is well done, that definitely that the student experiencing homelessness is much inclusive language, and just I support. But I have some serious concerns about employee dress and freedom of expression one, and I want to ask some questions about that policy.
We can table that if we,
Well, it depends on what,
yeah.
Dr. Pecchia could respond to some questions. I could respond to some questions, and then Amy Brandmeier could respond to some questions now, or we could hear those questions and perhaps need to respond later, depending on what you'd like to hear.
I mean, if possible, I will, if it's okay, that I will propose that we table that, and I can talk with the district leadership, try to kind of see whether I can get some answers to some of my concerns about the freedom of expression one.
So Michael has to revoke,
All right.
otherwise we have to vote.
Right. Michael, what would you like to do?
I mean, we put this out 2 weeks ago and we've gone through it and we've talked it over. I know it's not as strong as I'd like in some areas, but it has been gone through and has been approved by the district. And we've had 2 weeks to discuss this already. So I'd like to go ahead and take it to a vote.
Okay, we'll go and take a vote then. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? Any opposed?
I oppose.
Okay, motion passes 3-1.
And Director Teran, I think if you'd like to meet with myself or our team, we'd be happy to do that and talk through some of the components of the policy.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I think it's, it was my mistake not to kind of reach out earlier.
Yeah, just because it's approved doesn't mean that it can't be amended again.
Sure.
So we can move from there.
All right, thank you, Dr. Pecchia. We are on to some reports.
Amanda Kraft, professional learning, and we're excited to hear from you. Thanks, Amanda.
Hello, good evening, Director Yang, members of the board. I'm so excited to be able to present today around professional learning. Advance these slides. All right, tonight I'll be sharing with you about our summer professional learning, the instructional coach team that will be supporting our academic and student well-being recovery plan, upcoming professional learning, and share in celebration of the achievement of some of our teachers this last summer. We kicked off our annual administrative professional learning by introducing this year's theme, which you all know is belonging is essential. We spent 3.5 days building relationships with each other, discussing ways to support our staff through a sense of belonging, and developing a culture where all of our students and families feel a deep connection to our schools. When our administrators were asked, what does belonging mean? You're going to see this word on the slide here, and this is what they had to say. As we know, when our staff and our students don't feel included, they're less likely to reach their full potential. And we not only want our students to feel connected, but we also want our employees to feel like they belong in our spaces. And it's our goal to create inclusive schools where staff and students feel included, accepted, and valued. So I just appreciated this image that right in the middle. When we think about what does it mean to belong, it means we feel included in where we are every day. On this slide, you'll see a few pictures from our event. Dr. Palm opened our 3 days together with a message about reimagining excellence. Members of our cabinet also led portions of the 3 days. In addition to participating in professional learning, we raised $10,400 to support our E. Wesley Foundation. And in a time, right, where we're living in a pandemic, I want to commend our interns, our administrative interns, for really raising and helping push forward to continue to support this organization. In addition to our all administrative conference, we also held our new to Puyallup orientation. This happens the week before supplemental days. And in partnership with those listed on the screen, we created a welcoming and supportive onboarding experience for our new employees. We received overwhelming feedback from our new teachers about how supportive they felt in joining our Puyallup family. And I'm going to share some of those comments. And I have to tell you, we had over 100 people participate in the feedback. And this year, amongst all others, people felt connected and really supported. So Wildwood is a great positive place to be. Every interaction with everyone has left me feeling wanted and valued. My department had reached out to me in multiple times and has helped me know who to contact for different things I need. The Calais office staff has been so welcoming. HR and the CTE department has supported me as I navigate my new career. And I could tell you there are countless comments of positive feedback that we received from our staff welcoming our new employees. It's really quite exciting. This year, with health and safety protocols, we decided to deliver our training through Zoom. We are looking forward to the days we can be back in person and gather with more than, 3 feet apart, 6 feet apart. So we are looking forward to that. All things considering, we had an incredible turnout. More than 100 new employees attended, 15 instructional coaches in support of our district leaders welcomed our new staff. In addition to their training, we hosted a drive-through social where we could see our teachers in person, wave hello through the windows of their car, hand out swag bags, and welcome them to Puyallup in person. Building principals hosted school orientations for our new staff to tour buildings, meet teachers who will be mentoring them this year, and become familiar with the office staff.
Okay. Sorry, Amanda. Sir, if we need you to put a mask on. This is, so if you won't comply, we have to ask, we'll just move our meeting and close it to the public, to live attendance, and we'll just go virtual. All right. So at this time, the link is on our website for people who want to join and continue watching the meeting, and we will ask everyone to
take about a 5-minute break
Yeah.
to set up in an alternative location. We're sorry about that, folks, that we do expect full compliance, and the mandate is a mandate.
So we'll take a pause for 5 minutes.